Great. At this time, let's welcome Team Pittsburgh.
Hi, everyone, and welcome, at least virtually for now, to Pittsburgh. I'm Allison Treaster, the Senior Director for Talent for the Pittsburgh Regional Alliance, and we are excited to be a part of this city pitch and show you why Pittsburgh should be your next destination. I've lived in 4 countries and 7 cities, and while the vagabond lifestyle was great for a while, Pittsburgh has been home for the last 7 years, and I am thrilled to be an ambassador for our city and to help you all see yourselves living, working, and thriving here. One of the first things friends often say when they visit for the first time is, I didn't realize Pittsburgh was so beautiful. The 3 rivers are an iconic image for us. We have boating, kayaking, fishing, and with 446 bridges, water is a big part of our life and our landscape. There are also over 400 miles of hiking and biking trails, mountains, all right outside your door. And you can also work for a great company here, or you can even build your own. You may have seen the Duolingo billboard on 101 on your way to work. It's the most downloaded education app in the world, and it was built by a Carnegie Mellon alum right here in Pittsburgh. We have a quick video from Luis Vanon, the founder of Duolingo, and some other entrepreneurs who are revolutionizing lunar payloads, combating food insecurity, and designing sustainable fashion.
We're working to overcome hunger by crowdsourcing the delivery of surplus food to people who need it most. We are building a tech-powered movement globally. That's the community spirit of Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, we shape the world. I started Duolingo to give everyone in the world a chance to learn a language for free. We became one of the most downloaded apps of all time, and our team does it from Pittsburgh.
Yes, we are going to the moon. We are building the future here. There have only been 3 nations that have ever landed on the surface of the moon. Pittsburgh Nation will be the next.
Icons are made here. At Knotzland, I'm building a business that's true to myself and the values I believe in. We can thrive in part because of Pittsburgh's support of creative entrepreneurship.
In Pittsburgh, purpose drives us.
In Pittsburgh, you shape the world.
In Pittsburgh, we build.
In Pittsburgh, you can become iconic.
So we're doing some pretty cool things here. And we're also global leaders in robotics, autonomous vehicles, AI, machine learning, and we have an emerging life sciences market. With nearly 58,000 people working across technology and creative fields, there's a strong tech network for you to plug into and a lot of cutting edge innovation to explore. I'd like to introduce some of the people leading this innovation, starting with the autonomous vehicle industry, which is exploding here. We have 4 AV companies designing, building, and test driving on our streets. You'll often see them driving through Lawrenceville, where I used to live, named one of the coolest neighborhoods in America, and the Strip District, which is home to Robotics Row. We have over 75 robotics companies in the region, and one of the autonomous giants in robotics is Aurora Innovation. They acquired Uber's advanced technology group recently, pushing their valuation to $10 billion, and they're continuing to grow their team here. So I'm happy to introduce a tech lead manager and engineer from Aurora, Jesse Smith, who works on the simulation team and tests all of the code before it's embedded in any of the cars and trucks on the road. So Jesse, you're originally from the West Coast. What brought you to Pittsburgh?
So I was born and raised in Reno, Nevada. And when I was looking for jobs after school, and I also went to school and got my undergrad and graduate degrees from the university there, my sort of 2 criteria for looking for jobs were not in Reno and not in the Bay Area. And my boyfriend and now husband at the time, he's a pilot. And so he had sort of a list of cities that he could work out of. And so I looked at a lot of cities like Miami, Denver, Columbus, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Indianapolis. And by far the city that like sort of stood out to me as having the best opportunities for the type of work that I want to do, simulation and robotics, was Pittsburgh by sort of a long shot. And so when I got my job offer here, we moved here and have been here for 5 years since.
That's awesome. And I promise she wasn't a plant. The pilot had the decision anywhere, and those happen to be some of the same cities that mirror this competition. Can you talk a little bit about what you and your team are working on?
Yeah, so simulation for self-driving cars is really about building a testing environment that makes it really easy and safe to get signal from code changes before it ever touches a physical vehicle. So we're responsible for building an environment that can provide basically anything you need to simulate environment or actors or anything about a self-driving car. So that's from the things like the road surface and lines on the pavement and plants and the animations of a pedestrian walking across the street to sort of the intelligence of how other vehicles drive around the world and interact with the self-driving car.
Above my pay grade, but we're very glad to have engineers like you in Pittsburgh working on this. So what are you most excited about for the future of autonomous driving and mobility?
Oh, I think that it has the potential to change the way, the fundamental landscape of how we move things and people through the world. And I think self-driving cars has a really unique opportunity to make a huge socioeconomic impact on people who are sort of limited by their mobility options. So people like the elderly or folks who can't drive themselves to the job really find it hard to find a job, or their opportunities constrained to places that are close to where they live. Or my grandparents had to move into a retirement community once my grandfather stopped being comfortable with driving, and they could have stayed in their home had they had self-driving cars. So that sort of like social motivation coupled with just a bucket full of all of the most interesting technical problems to solve is sort of what makes this like the coolest industry.
Well, thank you so much. And Jessie will also be back for Q&A if we have questions for her, but we're really looking forward to watching Aurora and seeing Pittsburgh lead the way to an autonomous future. So thanks so much for being here with us today. Autonomous vehicles aren't the only things we're leading on. Whether you're working remotely and considering a new city or looking to move and start fresh, Pittsburgh has a world of cutting edge opportunity in tech. Everything from robotic farming to additive manufacturing, fintech, cybersecurity, life sciences. And I know Columbus and Indy are likely to be talking about the big brand name tech companies. They're here too. And what's unique about Pittsburgh is that those companies are here to work on their hardest problems and their coolest tech. Amazon's footprint here is focused on Alexa and machine translation. Facebook has their virtual reality research center here. Microsoft is expanding cloud capabilities. The list really goes on. And they come here to work at the forefront of what's next in tech with some of the smartest people in the world and university partners like Carnegie Mellon. We also have great professional and social networks for you to plug into. Regular meetups are happening across the region, highlighting different industries and technologies, bringing together professionals every month, every week to socialize, sometimes even to spin something new out. And as we're slowly getting back into the real world, I'm also launching a new monthly meetup series to help welcome and connect newcomers to the region. And that might be, going to a new fun bar or restaurant. It might be a weekend riverfront trail hike or a fireside night. We want to provide a bunch of different opportunities so you can find where you fit best in Pittsburgh. But we all know there's a lot more to life than work. And we're also really excited to share the fun side of Pittsburgh with you too. For starters, we have a vibrant arts and music scene here with 30 concert venues, including a Grammy-winning symphony. Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens is one of the greenest spaces in the world. And we also have 32 world-class museums, including the Andy Warhol Museum. So on that note, we are excited to have Senior Director Dan Law joining us from the North Side. And what's up at the Warhol today?
Hi, everybody. I am sitting in the middle of our Silver Cloud room. So just to give you a little bit of context, Andy Warhol invented the first immersive experience, and he did it with live music, film, and these guys, which are giant pockets of Mylar. And they sort of bounce around this room. You can actually push them around yourself. I'll push them towards you. And actually, it's everybody's favorite room in the entire museum. And you can come see it too if you move to Pittsburgh. But a little bit more about the Warhol. We are the city of Pittsburgh and the region of Western Pennsylvania's largest arts and culture tourism destination, but we're also a global tourist destination. 70% of our visitors are coming from not just around the country, but across or around the world. So when you think about it, Warhol has this very interesting global reach and this big global brand, but we're also making this enormous local impact. And we're specifically focused on the creative economy. So we've talked a lot here about tech and the cool stuff that we're doing with like autonomous vehicles and automated systems and advanced technology. But what the Warhol's doing is thinking about our creative economy and our creative workforce. So over the next 3 years, if you engage with the Warhol and you get to work with us, you're going to look at talent development, the new type of creative ecosystem in a post-industrial city. You're going to think about creative placemaking, live events, concerts, public art, and then you can work on really, really cool dynamic projects like reimagining what a new arts and culture district could look like in Pittsburgh. So there's just so much really cool opportunity to engage with us. It's not just tech, it's a huge arts and culture scene. And one of our chief leaders of this blend of tech, entrepreneurship, and arts and culture is my friend and actually boss, because she's on our board of directors, is Nisha Blackwell.
Hi everyone, I'm Nisha Blackwell, and I am on the board of the Warhol, as well as founder and CEO of Knotzland Bow Ties, a sustainable fashion brand that focuses on circularity through repurposing and reclaiming fabrics and materials and providing jobs in our own community and in our region. I love Pittsburgh as a native because of the creative economy. I'm so excited about the Warhol. I'm so excited about the future of Pittsburgh because of the creative economy. And just thinking over the past 6 years that I have been building this business and the growth that I've experienced, I can't even imagine doing it anywhere but Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh so much, and I hope that you all get to join Pittsburgh and our creative economy. And whether it's visiting or coming and choosing to live here, you will definitely find many different aspects and many different pockets of exploration when you come here.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. I know you're live. I promise, if you guys want to come to Pittsburgh and hang out outside and see their faces, we can get a more personalized connection than masks in a dark room. But the Warhol is an awesome space to be in. The interactive installations are awesome. So I would really encourage everyone to jump in and join. I think the Warhol is one example of kind of something unique in Pittsburgh, but we have a way of really turning history into art and art into really great local destinations. From concert venues and breweries and converted churches to traveling beer markets and drive-in movies at the Cary Furnace, which is one of the oldest steel mills in the country. Outdoor markets, festivals like Picklesburg that brings people from all over the country together for the love of dill. We've got championship sports teams and the best view in baseball. We also love to get outside. Weekly community yoga in Market Square downtown. We have skiing, snowboarding, winter sports, all less than an hour drive outside the city. Our food scene has also been on the rise and nationally recognized for the past few years with James Beard Award nominated restaurants and distilleries. We're on Bon Appetit's Best New Restaurants in America list. And you may not realize, but American whiskey was born in Pittsburgh. And Wiggle is carrying on the Whiskey Rebellion tradition here with their local distilleries. Also, we can talk about costs. For starters, that $1 million house in the Valley you can have for $250,000 here. A row house in a walkable neighborhood to bars and restaurants in the city, or a lot more space in the suburbs just 5 miles outside of downtown. Everything here is a fraction of the cost from the West Coast, meaning you get to live more, keep more, and do more with your money here. So you've heard from people living and working here. You've seen a little bit of our outdoors, our food and entertainment scenes. What will it take you to consider moving here? I'd like to make you an offer. Moving is hard, I get that. And starting over is harder. So we'd like to make it easier for you. Consider me your personal connection to Pittsburgh. That means friends, professional meetups, personal networking, volunteer opportunities. You want to talk to an engineer who moved here from the Valley? I'll connect you. You want to talk to a recruiter about opportunities in tech? let me make an introduction. You're a beer lover. There are over 80 breweries in the region. Come visit and we'll get you a passport to stamp your way through them. One call, one person to connect you into a world of opportunity here with an incredible quality of life, great people, and a life you'll love right here in Pittsburgh. So I would truly, take me up on the offer. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Please send me an email. We would like to help get you connected. I've seen some Q&A come in, so let's just take a quick look at that. And Jesse and Dan and Nisha, if you guys can jump back in to answer some questions, that would be great. So let's see. What resources do you have to help early stage companies and startups? Great question, Paige. And did that get answered? Oh, that may have been an Indy question, but I will answer it for Pittsburgh as well. Yes, we have a lot of VC firms. We have Innovation Works, which is one of the largest accelerators and seed stage funders in the country. We also have a recently launched Black Tech Ventures that's specifically focused on helping people of color get access to funding. And if you look at Works numbers as well, they are also going above and beyond national averages for supporting women and people of color with access to capital. If somebody else wants to jump in, another question I saw was, what makes Pittsburgh so livable? If Dan or Jesse want to jump in and ask.
Do you guys want to do like a rock, paper, scissors? No. Nisha, you go and I'll go, and then
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I would say the thing that makes Pittsburgh most livable for me is the fact that I am able to build community and collaborate with many different sectors to get our business done, right? And also not only building community, but having a small storefront right up the street. I can't even imagine another city that I'd be able to walk to work every day, but I literally do that here in Pittsburgh. From our Main Street business is right down the street from my apartment. And it's such a nice, tight-knit community, a part of a bigger city. And it always feels so, I'm grateful for that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when I came to Pittsburgh 11 years ago, I knew one person and I had an acceptance letter to the University of Pittsburgh for graduate school. Within 2 years, I had an awesome job in global policy. And then I made an enormous shift and I went into the tech and entrepreneurship sector. And that's when I met Nisha. In fact, it was the organization I worked for, was where we first funded Nisha to get her company going, right? And then I made another shift and I went into museums. So I think if you come here, it's not just tech, right? It's a variety of different opportunities that are going to present themselves.
And Jesse, if you want to hop in, working in tech perspective, we can round that out.
Sure. Yeah, I think, the tech community here is really, active and supportive, and there are tons of meetups, and the self-driving industry, I think in general, is a surprisingly small space, and also very supportive. I think, I have multiple friends working in robotics or self-driving companies who are, at Argo or Aptiv or other places around the area. And I think that everyone is just interested in seeing this technology work. And that sort of is a common theme in like the community here. I think everyone wants Pittsburgh to be a great place to live. And Mr. Rogers is from Pittsburgh, and I didn't quite fully grasp the won't you be my neighbor until I moved here, and everywhere is like just being in everybody's neighbor, and it's a really awesome community both inside of tech and outside of tech, and this city has definitely sunk its claws into me, and I don't think I'll be leaving anytime soon.
And we mean that in the most positive way possible.
Yes.
Well, Dan and Jesse and Nisha, thank you guys so much. One America Works team, thank you guys for the opportunity. We'll, we have time for one more question. Okay, we'll take it. Let's see. What community from Kailash. What community support and resources have Nisha and Jesse found in Pittsburgh for women working in the startup and tech spaces?
Yeah. Should I start?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my gosh. I was just telling one of my mentors this morning how many different programs that I've been able to leverage to build my business from the beginning. There are so many just specific, from our universities to our accelerator programs to our tech spaces, that have created these programs that support small business, but then things that launch out of those programs become more targeted programs for minority-owned and women-owned businesses. And there's just so much support. I mean, it's like you say you want to do a thing in Pittsburgh and people rally around you and make sure that the thing gets done regardless. And that's another thing that I've just loved about being able to access the resources. It's a small, big city. Like you can reach out, like I can reach out to Dan and say, hey, what do you know about this group? And he'll find me 5 different resources. And next thing you know, the next week I'm meeting a ton of people. And that's the thing that I really love about Pittsburgh. And from a women's perspective as well, I went to the Chatham business program, which was an amazing accelerator program as well. So there are just many, many resources.
Yeah, I think that I can definitely echo that. And, you know, from the technology perspective, there are different meetups, either focused in, you know, like women in just technology in general, or women who do Python or other language specific groups that I've participated in, usually through the avenue of like the companies in the area sponsor events quite a lot, and they try to invest back in the community either through outreach events or training programs. And I think it's really awesome to be a part of a community where the companies involved also feed back into the community and really like appreciate or sponsor programs to help give back to students, or like allow their company, their employees to have time to go and take a day and go volunteer somewhere, like with Lawrenceville United, which is a place where I volunteer every once in a while, doing food packing or distribution, and working with places like 412 Food Rescue. There's just a really good network of people and resources and places where anyone can just raise a hand and help out. And I think that that's across tech and every other part of the city too.
Well, thank you all again. You know, our final pitch to you is connect with us. Let us know how we can help make Pittsburgh your next destination, and stay well, be kind, and we hope to see you soon in Pittsburgh. Thanks, everyone.